What's up, everybody? It's Weekend Hangover time.
Yes.
And we got Dustin Coiner and that guy, Mr. K-Dub over here with the dub at Road America.
The smiling Harley dude.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, you got to work on the mustache and beard game, bro.
Or getting there.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about Road America. We got some awesome King of the Bagger inside track on racing King of the Baggers, and you know the home win for Harley Davidson. Always fun to watch as a race fan. We know that that's one of your races that you absolutely work your ass off to win. Every year I've watched you race there, it's always been like, dude, hammer down every time. So those post-race celebrations are always awesome, going into turn 5 and parking the bike and giving all the fans a high five, which is always a crowd favorite. So definitely lots to talk about.
It looked scrappy too, dude. Like Road America for you guys looked like you guys were in a giant knife fight the entire time.
Yeah, race 2 for sure was definitely scrappy.
Yeah, and you had a front row seat to the whole thing, so definitely want to get into that. Dustin was on the road with the team, starting on what? You flew into RDU?
Dude, I flew into Raleigh, Durham on Sunday, and joined up with the boys, and then we did the whole VIR test for 2 days. We did a PRE track day Monday, and then we had the track to ourselves on Tuesday. So,
any PRE peeps in the chat? Pipe up if you were there. Definitely want to hear from y'all. I know I had a couple buddies there.
I will tell you this, dude. Like, we went there, and Richard's like, okay, your job for today is make sure the bikes get teched, and the riders aren't here yet, so you got to go to the riders meeting. I'm like, okay. So, I go to the writers meeting, and I got the bikes tech. The crew's cool. Everybody's, I think I interviewed one of the guys at Road Atlanta, so he recognized me from that. And, so we got the bikes all teched up, and then I did the writers meeting, and I wrote down the key things that aside from the normal marketing stuff that the guy said, which doesn't really apply to these guys, but like, how to get on and off the track, and, you got to blend in here. So I wrote all that down. And then at the end, the dude wouldn't give me the sticker. And I was like, what? And so then he proceeds to fully get in my ass about it. Like full on, look, I'm not letting him ride. They need to go to the writers meeting. I'm not letting him ride. I'm going to give you guys a refund. So now I'm standing there like, holy shit, I've got to go and tell this to Richard, that's
got to get the bad news to the boss.
So then I go back to the pit, and the first person I see is Bob, and I was like, dude, is Jake here? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I need to talk to both of you guys. So I kind of let them both have it. I was like, look, fuckers, I start the conversation off with that, like, look, assholes, you got to go hat in hand, go talk to that dude, sort it out, because dude, you don't want me having to go explain to Richard why he drove all the way out here and we can't ride. So figure it out. And sure enough, the guy was like peaches and cream to them. And, I guess he's saved all his energy to be in my ass and was like unicorns and butterflies to those guys. So whatever, they got to ride.
I think it would have gone a lot better at an N2 track day, to be honest. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It was my first experience with those guys. The guy did have a couple of things that, he said in his little writers meeting that that I appreciated. I was like, that's something that a lot of people don't understand when they're riding at a track day. It's like they look at the other riders that they're on track with as like their enemy.
Yeah, you're not.
And he's like, you got to look around. Like, these are people. They got to go to work too, man. Like, so treat everybody like humans out there. Like, just
we're not racing. We're not racing.
So, yeah, it's an adventure, man. And then geese. Kyle, what do you know about the geese at VIR? Anything? Have you dodged any? Yes.
No, I know there's a lake in the infield there, so I imagine there's some geese.
Oh, you've never seen geese on the racetrack?
No.
Yeah, that's something.
Bob did.
Yeah. Bobby was like rev bombing the thing, and the goose just stood there and was like, "What? This is my house."
He straight parked it.
They are.
Parked it in the track, and
it's like I could hear the radio chatter too. I was up at the tower doing some work, and the radio chatter was like, "Okay, we got to have the yellow flag out. Let him know they're coming."
Yeah. Oh boy.
A waving yellow to let you know that the geese are coming, like on track.
Well, definitely want to get into Road America. It was the start of the weekend looked a little crazy with the weather on Friday, but Saturday, I mean, you couldn't ask for better temperatures up there for that. I know going into it, you had some good battles at Road Atlanta, and going into it, tell us how your weekend started and just kind of like talk about your plan for the weekend and what you were gearing up for race one and the challenge race. Cause I know the challenge race, that's a fun sprint race. I know you guys kind of use that as a little bit of a test bed to say, okay, how's this bike going to do? And how am I going to get these first laps done? So,
and can you explain the challenge too? How do you get in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, to start off, we've had a great start to the season, and my plan going into every race so far this year is just to really start strong on Friday. We've done that at all 3 rounds so far, just come out swinging and set some really good pace from the very get-go, and that's been huge for us just to get a head start on the weekend. And on Friday at Road America, we broke the track record in the first session, which was
crazy,
pretty unexpected, like to come out that way. I mean, we knew that we could get into the 18s, and that was kind of the goal on the weekend, was like somewhere in the 18.
Did we lose Kyle? Kyle has Taco Bell internet?
Yeah. He's frozen. No.
Yeah. No.
Got me.
Kick him?
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
So going into the challenge, which is only the top 6 from qualifying going to the challenge, it's a 2-lap race, grid and go. You don't even get a warm-up lap to like practice the start into turn 1. They just line you up and send you. And usually for those, unless I get a whole shot, I'm not really that interested in scrapping out over the money, because there's just too much risk to throw a bike down the road, and worried about the points more than anything. So, we did win one at Daytona, but I did get the whole shot, but Troy came up the inside of me into turn 3, and we kind of got jammed up. I ended up back all the way as deep as 4th or 5th, maybe.
Yeah, you got all the way back and then worked your way up, and then James was up there, which was awesome to see.
Yeah, so luckily we were able to get a clean lap on the second one, did another 17.5 or something, and then Rispoli got the win, which is awesome. It's really cool to see him finally kind of finding his feet with our team.
Right. Like that dude's, Rispoli has had a strange relationship with the ground this season, and it's kind of unusual for that dude, isn't it? Like, I don't remember seeing him smash like that.
Yeah, he's had a few big ones, but he's pushing, and I admire that. He just gets up and he just gets back to work, man. Like he doesn't waste a whole lot of time feeling sorry for himself. He just gets back to it.
Yeah. I mean, can you speak a little bit about the competitiveness of that rivalry that you guys have between your manufacturer and that other one? You guys and the Indian dudes.
I mean, it's a century-old rivalry, right? I mean, it's been going on for much longer than we've all been around. So, but it's real. It's real, and even with the Davidson family on site, like.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
with
real,
G there.
right?
That was awesome.
They fully are all in on the rivalry as well. So we just want to go out and make them proud, and we definitely did that on Saturday. And we're pretty much wishing we could just like celebrate the whole rest of the weekend, but obviously you got to go into race 2 and still got to go to work. And but yeah, the rivalry is deep, and it stays pretty under the surface for the most time. Every once in a while, it boils over, and this past weekend was one of those moments. It's kind of it's been a while, Me and Tyler had some pretty good kind of run-ins with each other, and then as Troy came in and we had our battle last year, never really got heated. We just kind of went about our business and did our thing. But it's always there for sure.
Yeah. I came by on Sunday after the morning warm up, like before the fan walk stuff and all that. And, it was like a few minutes after whatever had happened on the racetrack between, I think, Rispoli and Troy. And dude, Rispoli was fired up. Like he was saying some stuff, and then you got like the three of you guys in there were kind of interacting about it. And then next thing I know, like before I caught your attention, some of your crew was like, "Okay, everybody," and they closed the curtain. So I was like, "Wow, dude!" Like Rispoli looked fired up, man. Like,
yeah,
fired up. And I don't know exactly what happened. It sounded like it was a little bit of a red mist kind of moment between both of them. Kyle's on pause. Like you were like on pause for a second.
Yeah, Kyle. I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. It's
Can
all
you hear
good.
Me?
Yeah,
it's better than Fonger being in a Taco Bell parking lot trying to get Wi-Fi in his van. So
at the Canada border. Not much better though. Yeah, you want to speak a little bit about that, dude?
I mean, I wasn't involved in any of the drama, honestly, even through to race 2, right? I'm pretty focused on my own program. I don't really care what's going on around me until it really starts affecting me. And, fortunately we weren't really in that position. So, understand the situation, right? I've had a pretty big points lead pretty much since Daytona, and especially after Atlanta. So
got to protect it.
I'm just worried about me trying to get this done for Harley, and I think it was a whole lot of room for emotion on my motorcycle.
And also, I think it was good for the crew to go and put a stop to the visual of that going on, because already, like when I was standing there, there was like, it was clearly the Indian guy's fault. Like the fans on the outside, I was like, oh man, like. And I'm standing there wearing a Yamaha shirt, and I'm just like, man. Right?
I'm just there for the entertainment as anybody else would be. Like, I'm just there to hear Rispoli get wound up on something. It's the best.
I will tell you, I've known James for a little bit now because I sponsored him quite a few years ago with some tools. But I will tell you that kid puts on the best post-race interviews. Dude, over the years when he came back and he was racing in the Twins Cup and kind of getting going and racing in the US again after being an AFT on the KTM and it's been awesome to see him just give out some bangers, man. He is like we need personalities. We always need some personalities, and he's one of the great ones, I'd have to say, for sure.
Right.
So him getting the crowd fired up with his podium speech on Saturday was hilarious, and they could tell the crowd was just going nuts in the background too. So it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about the bagger class so far? I mean, it seems like the factory bikes are looking to be quite a bit far ahead of everyone else. Even like it looks like every now and then, like the Revzilla bike gets kind of close, but other than that, I mean, it's not like it was before, where like the bike Camp P was riding is up front. Like that's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the the biggest thing that's changed is optically it looks that way. I think that the factory teams have both made a step, but also we each have 3 riders on our team this year.
Right.
So,
Right.
it's going to be tougher for, a privateer team to crack into that top 5, top 3 like it used to be. Which is
Right.
good because, I mean, we've got a lot of guys up front. We had a train of 6, 7 riders in Sunday's race, and
Yeah.
you can't say that
Sounds
about
cool.
many classes.
Sounds cool when it goes by.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
no, I think we've all made a step, and I think, but also there's just more of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Super Sport this weekend, both days was pretty heated, like what you described. Superbike, I mean, it was like 3 dudes basically, and then Sunday it was basically like 1 dude, right?
Yeah.
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 So, I think you're right there. But overall, like, what do you think about how things are and like what's the progression going to be of that class? With 10 bikes.
And
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I don't think, the narrative about the grid size, I think to me isn't as meaningful as some other things. You could have
People
you
say
could
the
have
same thing about Superbike grid size. So
yeah, I mean, they do. I think as long as the racing's good, right? Like you only see that there's, 13 bikes on the grid at the start, and the rest of the race you see the entire, you know, 6, 7 bikes battling the whole rest of the time. I
right.
don't think it's a reflection of the health of the series. I think that the popularity is what reflects the health of the series, and King of the Baggers is the most popular class, and I mean that's just it's just fact at this point, and we can't argue it. And it's been incredible to be a part of the growth of this series and to see how many like this. It seemed like everybody that was there last year decided to come back, and they brought a friend. Like it was insane at Road America, and it, I don't know where it ends. I mean, it continues to grow. I think that it's still challenging to. We want more quality entries in the series.
Yeah.
The early years of the championship, the rules were so open that Harley and Indian could both just go completely nuts. And then it's really hard to take that and chop it back down to something after you've already done the development, spent the money.
Right.
So now the attainability of being competitive is out of reach for most outfits. And that's what keeps the grid as small as it has been.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. I think both factories should try to put themselves in a better position to support more teams with quality equipment at a fair price. It's just the rivalry is so intense and so demanding of our attention that it's impossible for us to put more focus into that because we are literally just pinned all the time trying to make the bike better for the next race.
Yeah,
It's kind of the nature of it.
the pendulum kind of swings one way or the other, right? Like sometimes Harley gets the better of them for a season, and then all of a sudden Indians in the back doing work, and then they come out and obviously you got Herfoss with the big one plane on his bike, right? And O'Hara's had it before, and you've had it, right? Like,
well, yeah, you and O'Hara were going back and forth for a couple of years, and then
I mean, it's literally alternated brands every year.
Yeah.
If you count the first exhibition with Tyler, and then I won it in 21, then Tyler won it in 22, Hayden on a Harley, right?
Yep.
Then Troy. So it's just alternated back and forth each year. And
yeah,
that's great.
And each year they get faster too, which is insane. Like,
yeah, a second and a half again over last year. We were this
really
weekend.
a second and a half.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, or do you even know the data, like how fast you guys are going at the end of the straightaway, front straightaway there?
It
was like in the 170s, if I wasn't mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, like the trap speeds were like high 160s, but the traps are way up the straightaway. So I think I think the fastest straightaway is the second straightaway, and we were like in the high 170s, maybe mid to
High
high
170s.
in a draft.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's just insane.
Well,
I can't even.
Tyler got a 191 at Daytona.
Yeah.
One lap.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
you guys are out of control with this bagger things,
Yeah.
and they do different stuff when you guys crash them too. I mean, it's not like when you see a Superbike crash, it's like a lot of times it's like it tucks the front and it just slides for a little bit, but you guys stuff just it like twists and stuff, like flies through the air and does evil things.
Well, there's a lot of parts coming off because the bags and the fairing are sticking out, and they also dig pretty big holes in the dirt. So
in the pavement,
pretty eventful.
We did have a comment in the chat. Do you miss racing Superbikes?
It's a good question, and like this past weekend, I've kind of been reflecting on that a little bit because, the first season I did baggers, I was still racing the Ducati Superbike when we had the Panera Bread sponsorship. And then in 2022, I decided to stop racing my own team. And then I still did some wild cards here and there. I did a fill in on the Teitlers BMW, fill in with M4 Suzuki that year. 2023 is when I signed an exclusive contract to where I couldn't do anything else. And those years, 2022, 23, like when the Superbikes went out, I would be just hanging on the fence, like, man, I just, I'm not done there, right? Like, I feel like I have unfinished business. But as the years have gone on and this program has grown into what it is, and it's demanded of me what I had to bring to Superbike from all different kind of aspects. I mean, I feel perfectly content now, racing baggers full time. If something happens in the future and I can get back on a Superbike, that would be cool. But
Harley's gonna build him a Superbike. Watch.
No, well,
no,
you never. I mean, you
the
never
new
know.
VR, the new
That's what's
VR,
a 1000, 1100.
Yeah, but I'm just to ride any bike, but to be in a position I've been in to be able to just focus on being an athlete and improving myself as a rider, and as I know I could be a better Superbike rider than I left, but we may never know, and that's okay.
I would agree. I love hearing that because I think more than anything, us as fans, we love seeing our favorite riders or people that we cheer for, continue on to something that they enjoy, and you're not looking back, because if you're looking back, that's not helping you move forward. And just seeing social media and following you around, you can see how much fun you're having because you're getting to travel the world. I mean, you're getting to travel all over the world and kind of repping a brand that your family has been a part of for years and decades,
Mm-hmm.
right? With the dealership and everything. So it's like, hey, and then, you're continuing that on with your race team, and super hooligans and all that stuff. So it's like, you've latched on to a brand that you can fully support with your whole heart. And
he grew up with it. Like, it's his family business.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So,
I mean, the things that people are most attracted to are the most authentic, and I'm very fortunate that there's nothing fake about how much I love this brand, It's the whole reason I'm in this sport to begin with, is because my grandfather started a dealership in 1962. It was $500 for a Harley franchise back then.
Wow.
And he cleaned out his chicken coop on the farm, and he had enough room for 2 bikes and a box of leather jackets. Like, that's literally how this all started. So
awesome.
I went into Superbike and I rode all these different brands, Yamahas and Ducatis and BMWs and Suzukis, and it's like the Harley heritage was always lingering in the background. And it's just insane that it's been able to come back into my life this way. It's very grateful and privileged to be in this position.
So I met you about 12 years ago, and you were still kind of a little guy, I guess you could say. Little bit of Justin Bieber look-alike contest, right? And you were working with the Yamaha school and doing a great job at that. Are you still active with the school? He keeps pausing. Are you still active with the school, Kyle? Yeah. Clearly,
we'll get him back in a second.
Yeah, like he's just buffering.
Right? Try that. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
So you still with the school?
Starlink is failing me.
Oh.
Yeah, I am very, very little compared to what I used to be. But I was at Road Atlanta last month. I was at Homestead in January. And then the school I did before that was the Homestead January the year before. So it's definitely been a little bit less than I want it to be. But Harley's keeping me so busy that it's hard to be like, oh man, I think I can get a school in, but it's just getting crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's all good. Cody's taking over for you and keeping the Wyman name going pretty good at YCRS.
He's killing it. He's killing it.
So did you follow any of the races for the rest of the weekend? I know you were busy working on winning races, but did you get to catch any of the other races?
Yeah, definitely kept my ear to the ground on what was going on out there for sure.
So Blake Davis, he's a fellow N2 guy. I know back with the N2 days, and it was really awesome to see him get that W on the R9. Yeah. What do you think about how Supersport is shaping up with Blake now coming to the front, Matt kind of struggling a little bit, PJ's got the point lead? How do you see that playing out with the Ridge coming up? And I know Matt goes really well at the Ridge, so we have that rehash from last year with the collision, I think in turn 6 or 7 or whatever up there at the top before you start coming back down. How do you see that shaping out?
Gosh, I mean, that's open season, really. It's anybody's to kind of start grabbing a hold of, and you're definitely going to see that scrappiness start pretty soon here. Like it's still early in the season, but I think it's going to start getting that way pretty soon. I think the Ridge is definitely a place that can draw that out of people, with those kind of moves and stuff. It's a very physical and feels like, like the fist fight in a phone booth type of situation.
Well, it was pretty scrappy at Road America.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of back and forth, but like not a whole lot of contact or late moves. So
there was some pretty healthy contact though, right? Didn't Blake get knocked off the racetrack?
Well, on Saturday,
right.
Mostly just
Camp P got knocked off the racetrack, had to get stitches. Like, I mean, they're already beating each other up, man, and it's still early.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
you're like a substitute crew chief for Blake when Chavi's not around, right?
Yeah, so I did crew chief for Blake at the first round at Barber, which was awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, I've known Blake for a long time. He was hanging around the schools when he was real little. I remember at Homestead a number of years ago, he was like 12 or 11 or 12 years old, and we lifted him up and put him on an R6 and held it for him, and like just sent him off on a lap on an R6. And we've done some, I worked with him quite a bit one-on-one out in Arizona, and just been kind of helping him for a long time. And it was pretty cool to work with him last year at most of the rounds, and then he got his first win in Supersport at Jersey. Coming from like 18th on the grid.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I mean, like he's got it. He's got what it takes.
Yeah.
His mentality is rock solid. And I think Sunday's a sign of things to come. He was pretty He's pretty pissed off about Saturday.
Yeah.
He channeled that energy in the correct way. He didn't do anything frantic. He was just locked in on Sunday, and
yeah, he looked really good on Sunday.
Yeah,
he had the thing under control for sure. I mean,
yeah,
anytime he had shots taken against him, he just
back at it.
He took a breather and right back at it. Didn't let him get away, because the R9 is still kind of like a little down on the top end. Once it gets there, it's like that's it.
Yeah, it falls on its face just like the Cowie and just like the Triumph. It just doesn't. It's not like the old
Peterson's
R6.
Peterson's bike had the leg up on pretty much everybody, it seemed, in that race Sunday.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and it just they were so scrappy. It was like you had no idea who was going to win, and that's having no idea who's going to win is. Not
it's
being
awesome.
sure. Yeah, it's so much nicer, like even in Superbike right now, like it, that the big red Ducati is pretty fast down the straightaway, man.
that thing,
right?
Cam was not closing the distance coming up on the straight. You could just see that bike was just gone. And it was how Josh got it up off the edge of the tire coming out of the last corner, and he just had a little bit where Cam just couldn't latch on.
Like and Saturday, Bob was taking time out of him, there, and he made a little mistake there. But our bike wasn't losing a ton, but it also wasn't gaining either, And those two, the BMW and the Ducati, can kind of go the time, get the mile an hour down the straightaway without the draft.
I'm curious. I have a question. This is a Richard question, but maybe you heard something. So this is the first year for the winglets on the Yamaha.
Yeah.
And the first time I noticed the winglets when I raced the Ducati really was at MotoAmerica, because every other Superbike I rode, when you come up the front straightaway, you'd have to have some wheelie control in the bike to keep it from wheeling too much. Right. But when I got on the Ducati, it was just flat because you had the downforce. Were you guys able to dial out some intervention because of the winglets this year? Do you know?
Well, I will ask Richard that question tomorrow.
I'm interested to know.
I'll be on live with him tomorrow night.
Tune in.
Yeah. I will save that question for tomorrow night for sure.
Well,
in the Superbike genius, I thought it was you. It's not you. It's the other guy.
Dude, I'm like, he's Shrek. I'm the donkey, bro. Like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Like I'm in the way. You know what I mean? Like I see them doing the work, but I don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean?
You got the camera. You just got the camera.
I got the camera. And you're just... I'm trying to get Robbie to not cuss on camera while I'm shooting or say vile things so I can still use the shot. So
speaking of winglets, I think in Sunday's Superbike race, from just a somewhat trained eye, I believe that Cam
hit him,
lost some downforce in the draft of Heron in the carousel, and that's what lifted the front.
Yeah, because it just looked like it went right
on him, and like really got close. And I mean, it's a fast enough corner that the downforce on those wings is going to be a significant amount to keep that front tire on the ground. And I think that, to me, it looked like almost an aero-induced crash as he drew up to the back of Josh there.
Yeah, because he did pull in, and then next thing you know, the front floated a little bit, and then he was gone.
Yeah. Did you see the Saturday race with SDK?
I heard that those guys got together off the start.
Yeah.
Well, that was on Sunday, but in the first race,
okay.
So SDK's bike looked like, I don't know, looked like the brakes didn't work or something. Like, I mean, he, on Saturday's race anyway. Like, I should have texted Jeremy to ask him what happened, but I didn't.
I paid closer attention to Sunday than I did Saturday. So
okay.
Yeah. Yes. I think with Josh closing the gap in points and Cam not making up any points on Sunday, that was a big loss for Cam, and that's Josh is going to go into the Ridge with a huge confidence boost, and he goes pretty well at the Ridge. So
he does.
Yeah,
he does.
Is there a big momentum shift? And it seems like when Cam starts to get on his back foot, you know, the confidence is kind of shaky, you know, because he's questioning things with the crash and all that stuff, you know. And as a rider yourself, you know, I don't know if that seems like that's kind of
what's happening. Just a heads up, I saw Cam on Sunday night at the and
okay.
I don't believe any of that.
Good.
I don't think he lost shit. Like Cam Beaubier is going to be Cam Beaubier.
I think you know, he's going to be really happy to walk out of there just healthy, because you look back to last season, we had that crazy rain race. He crashes, breaks his foot. He's out for however long. I mean, that was the end of his championship. I mean, there's a lot of racing left, and
there is.
I still think Cam has unfinished business. He wants to get one more of these after coming back from Europe.
Yeah. One or more. I mean, the interview with Bison Carruthers, you know, and him and Josh Hayes were talking, and Josh was like, I started winning my championships at 34.
Yeah.
He's just starting to, you know, get close to that age, and he's already won 5. So
yeah.
It took Josh a long time to get a factory ride too. Like he was a Superbike ride, because he was like super sport guy forever, and then he was like the Honda, you know, what is it, Formula Extreme or whatever, like they were doing Daytona Sport Bike, whatever nonsense.
Josh was 34 when he started with Yamaha. Right. He finally got a factory Superbike seat.
Yeah. So what do you think about, you know, it's in the comments too. Let me give that dude credit for this question. But what do you think about your Harley dudes the baggers going to MotoGP? Track Day Junkie. Track Day Junkie is the guy's name.
Oh, it's Patrick, my buddy Patrick.
Oh, okay. Yes. What do you think about that?
It's super interesting. It's been a long time coming. It's been in the works really since we did our one-off event there at COTA last year with them, with MotoAmerica and King of the Baggers. Leaving that event, Dorna approached Harley and said, we want to engage with the US. We want to engage with your brand. Harley's already been activating at rounds all over Europe, you know, just with whether it's just an activation booth or demo rides or whatever. Harley's a global brand. We have ambitions to sell motorcycles all over the world. We do sell motorcycles all over the world, and it's a big push by our CEO, Jochen Zeitz, to get this deal done with Dorna, and we got it done. So we went over to Le Mans, France, and did the announcement and starting that whole process. There's a lot of work to be done. I don't know exactly what that's going to mean for me in the future.
Are you going to be one of the GP bagger dudes?
Well, you already got a taste of Catalunya, so right?
We did. That was awesome.
That was so rad to see.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's on to the details. It's on to, you know, Dorna's gonna. It's very Moto-y, right? So it's you know, existing teams or other teams in Europe that want to join this series will, you know, lease motorcycles from Harley Davidson. Harley will support all the teams equally with equal equipment. And so it is kind of interesting just from my personal perspective. It's like, okay, so I'm not going to be a factory rider if I go and do that. I'm going to ride for an existing team. I won't name names, but there are some premier class Moto2 and, you know, junior GP teams that are all interested in doing this. So it's the schedule's up in the air as well. Are there going to be rounds that conflict with MotoAmerica? So, can I do both? Can I do a full season in one, partial in the other? But either way, it's a really cool opportunity for a lot of people, I think. And it gives us the opportunity also to build a spec racer that doesn't have to try to go out and kill
Yeah.
another manufacturer every week. We can kind of do some things a little bit different, have some fun with it maybe, and create something that's super reliable, nice and loud like they are, right? Just and still, over 200 horsepower. So they're going to be weapons.
Yeah, I mean it just seems exciting, I've seen Ruben Chaus.
Yep. I was about to say Ruben Chaus.
Yeah, so like Ruben was doing the BRL on something, and I think he's part of that GP project, right? Or am I mistaken?
No, I'm glad you asked, because the BRL series and King of the Baggers, I think BRL actively wants to create confusion at times. Like I get messages all the time, and it's like, "We'll see you in Mossport this weekend." I'm like, "No, you won't."
Yeah.
Okay.
So BRL went and created a European arm with Ruben, and they've already had. I think they already had an event like a couple weeks ago. I can't remember where it was. So this is a completely separate initiative from.
It's a club. It's a club race, an overseas club race with baggers. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's
like, it's the bagger version of USGPRU.
Yeah,
sure.
or the sidecar guys, right?
Dude, do people even know what USGPRU is anymore?
No.
You did.
But yeah. No, but it's
yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be, and the cool part about it is, MotoGP video pass, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's the whole deal. I have these kind of dream scenarios in my head where Grassini's gonna put a couple out there in their Grassini blue, right? Like there's a lot of interest from a lot of different areas to do this, and see what happens.
Like, who knows? You could be like the break glass of a case emergency, ride a GP bike on, no?
Yeah, call them up from baggers.
I just want to see. I just want to see carbon brakes.
Right?
I want to see carbon brakes on a bagger. Some 340 millimeter carbon brakes.
Like,
you never know.
Have you talked about the manufacturer doing something with the tires? Like something specific for you guys instead of running just Superbike stuff?
They're working on stuff. I think Cam Peterson was testing yesterday with Dunlop with some kind of bagger specific constructions.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think they'll be introduced this year. So for us, if we have some extra testing time, we'll take a look at them, but we're trying to maximize what we're going to be racing on this year.
Yeah.
But I know that they are developing something specific, because we would love to have longer races. We just kill the tire as much as a Superbike does in half the time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because the thing is double the weight.
Yeah.
There is that. So that's why I asked that. I was just curious, like if they were working on that. I didn't know they were that far along that they're testing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's cool.
So speaking of GP, you said you were at Le Mans, so you got to see Zarco win at home, which I bet was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch Silverstone?
Yes.
Awesome. What did you think of the craziness of the first 3 laps and, the state of Aprilia and all the crap that's going on?
No, it's a little bit of a different world. Like with Aprilia and Jorge, like that kind of star power and like pull and the games and the politics, like we don't experience that. That's nothing like I have ever experienced.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you can say from an outside perspective on that is like, well, Aprilia won the race, so you know, it's obviously not a bad motorcycle.
No.
But the open of the race with Alex going down in the first corner, Mark going down a couple laps later, Alex, it almost seemed like the rear ride height device was stuck down, and that's why he crashed into turn one. I don't know if that was confirmed or if anybody's talked about that, but yeah, it was crazy. And yeah, to have a full restart and get a gift like that. I was a recent recipient of a gift like that. So, you know, it's racing sometimes how it goes. And yeah, I guess it was Frankie and was it John Muir got together? Or was it Marine?
No, it was Aleix. It was Aleix and
Frankie. It was a Honda. Aleix and Frankie Morbidelli got together and left some fluid on the track.
Yeah.
It's just weird because I thought only baggers did that. But I don't have to go.
You know what? Like
they took out their K&N oil filters.
Yeah, Kyle and I both.
Now we're throwing it back.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to joke about that. Like you guys have come a long way because the baggers early on, I mean, they would
every bike early on.
Right.
I mean, that's just racing.
The arch bike right now, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't want to deviate off of Silverstone too hard here, but
no, I know. Dustin's the king of deviation, so
yeah, I mean, squirrel.
KOD, king of deviations. Yeah. So yeah, the race was awesome. I was really bummed for Fabio. That was, I mean, he had that sucker in the bag. Like he was putting on a clinic.
It sucks to see him so upset, but I think that, you know, leaving there, he's got to just feel like it's coming, you know, and like as they go into next season, one more year before they change the rules, right? That Yamaha's starting to come good. Like he's a title threat next year, I think. Like because you can just see it kind of starting to come to the surface.
Yeah, the report said that he was bummed, but he was really happy with how things went. Like he was pissed that it got away from him because he knew he had it. And that bike has come a long way, and all that hard work they put in, and him hounding Yamaha. And what they're saying is Yamaha has taken a European approach to development where they're not taking so much time. And, you know, they always have like create the part, confirm the part, create the part, confirm the part. And they have all that validation process where now it's just like they're slinging something at it. Hey, this works. Let's go. Like, don't even, that's the European way.
Hey, grab that front fender off the semi. Let's bolt it to the back and see what happens. You know, like they're just sending it at all times.
Well, the thing is, like, it's doing things by committee apparently doesn't work.
No, the Japanese, I used to, working at Boeing, I used to have to talk to Kawasaki Heavy Industries and Fuji engineers, and just the process of working through engineering parts and stuff like that with them has been, was always such a pain in the ass. But
it's just a cultural thing, you know?
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Because to them, they'll say the same to you. Like working with the Americans, they're just so they're always asking like too many questions, and they're always hounding us. Like there's a book I read called The Culture Map. And I picked it up when I started riding the Ducatis because I was working with the Italians so much, and I wanted to try to understand better how to communicate, because they're a high context culture, right? And we're a very low context culture. Like, hey, we're gonna meet for coffee tomorrow, and like a couple hours later, hey, we're still meeting for coffee tomorrow. You know, tomorrow morning, hey, 10 o'clock, right? We're meeting for coffee. Where it's like a high context culture, and Japan is the highest context of any of them. Like they're like, you don't trust me, like you don't believe me that I'm going to be there. So it's like you have to kind of understand the different things, and maybe that's some of what affects the development. The Italians at Ducati, they've figured out Gigi, right? He's been the guy driving this, and before it was with Aprilia. They were winning World Superbike championships. He goes to Ducati, they're winning MotoGP championships. He's driven the development in a way that doesn't matter what your culture is, you've got to figure out how to do it the way they're doing it. And we're starting to see that, it sounds like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's good to see Fabio running in the front, and he's had a couple of poles now, and has led some races. Like you said, it's only a matter of time before that guy gets one. It's good to see that, and I'm sure he's stoked on that after finishing like 7th and worse.
A few
years.
Like, so behind the Ducatis.
Clearly, he didn't figure out how to ride. He didn't forget how to ride.
Yeah. So speaking of the rumor mill, the top rack story. What do you think about that? Is the word on the street is that it's going to be a done deal at Aragon this weekend.
Seems like it. Yeah. No, I'm hearing the same thing. Like it's only a matter of days or weeks before we see something, but it's not going to be Honda.
Yeah, it's gonna be Yamaha, right? Yeah, it's like is the musical chairs thing is Jack Miller going to the factory team to slide over? Like what? I don't.
It's between Miguel and him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. It seems like the natural way it goes is that Rins goes to Pramac, Toprak goes to the factory team, and then they kind of Jack or Miguel. But I'm not on the inside of that. I just hear things just like everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think Toprak going to Yamaha with the new bike and the Pirellis is going to be, Yamaha's gamble like BMW did?
I think it's. I think that it's the best opportunity if there is going to be, a change. Right? There's going to be a change in the tires. There's going to be a change in the regulations. He's obviously an adaptable rider, but in any category, to be able to maximize the package that you're on, you can't just do it in one season.
Yeah.
And we've seen this time and time again with rookies. We get guys that get signed up for Moto2 and they do these 1-year deals and then they're out the door. It's like, you don't realize the level that these guys have had to get to over years and years and years and years. And it's like, if we don't get the next Marquez or Acosta lightning in a bottle, then they're not going to be anything. But Alex Marquez is a perfect example of a guy who maybe wouldn't be here if his brother wasn't on the grid, but has matured and grown and improved himself to the point where he's going to be a championship contender all season.
Yeah.
And I just don't think guys are given enough time to show their true potential. Like there's so many that could do well in that class. Unfortunately, there's only 22 bikes.
Truthfully, that dude was in Nowhereville for a long time. And it's like, wow. Oh, he actually does know how to ride.
Yeah.
All these guys do. I mean, you gotta, there's so many variables, the right crew on the right bike at the right time. And like some guys find that and they get re-signed. Some guys come into certain teams as a rookie
and they're one and done, right?
Chantra is just fighting an uphill battle. He's got so much arm pump. He's getting surgery. He's going to come back. He's going to try to understand this Honda that frankly only Zarco understands at this point.
Yep.
And it's going to be tough for a team like that to not look elsewhere.
They need to allow more testing again, more testing so they can.
It's expensive, dude. And they're probably running out of
know.
budget. Yeah, I know you know.
We know.
I think the testing rules, do the rookies have any? They can do certain tests in the preseason that the full-time guys can't, I believe.
Yeah, they get the first day is all the rookies before everybody else starts showing up. But everybody with concessions has all the extra testing in the world, and there's only one team that I don't think has concessions, and that's Ducati. Everybody else has concessions, so
of some sort. Yeah.
So
back to the top rack thing. I think that he's got more than enough talent to figure it out if they give him enough time to figure it out. And we'll see. They do.
Well, and that was one of the big complaints that apparently when he got that MotoGP test when he was with Yamaha, that they did not make that test what he thought it was, and he didn't get everything he needed, and that's why he didn't perform. So that was part of the reason why he ditched Yamaha and went with BMW, was because of that test. So I think there's next season is going to be a pretty wild season.
Right.
You know, and I'm looking forward to it. On a Moto2 note, Senna Agius got that big win under his belt, which was pretty awesome to see. That was a really scrappy last couple corners, and it was fun to see. I really enjoyed that one. I was a little bummed for Jake Dixon, but you know, it's just the way it goes. I did want to ask, do you still talk to El Pescao?
Yeah, every once in a while we're in touch. Hafiz Siren. It's a very unlikely friendship, you know. It's goes all the way back to 2013. That when he was in the Petronas development program, he rode for me on an XR 1200 at Indianapolis, and Hannah and I on our honeymoon, we went to Malaysia and Bali, and we went and hung out with him at the Sepang Grand Prix when he was riding for Tech 3. And yeah, it's you know, we're a long ways apart, right? He's doing the Asian Championship now, so he's not even in Europe at the moment. So it's probably going to be a while till I see him, but yeah, we stay in touch quite a bit.
Yeah, I was actually messaging you on that trip because you jumped on a 787, and that's when I was asking your opinion as a passenger. What did you think of the airplane?
It was kind of brand new by then, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've ridden on some clapped out 787s. Didn't take long.
I know. It's sad. Unless you get on a Qatar Airways, they only last 3 years on that airline, and then they flop them out. So
wow.
Yeah. But yeah. Well,
when's your next race, Kyle?
Laguna's for us. We're not at the Ridge with baggers. They'll have hooligans up there.
Okay.
I'll be staying home, but my boys will be up there hopefully.
Because that's your brother's riding for you on the hooligan.
Yeah, Cody's riding on my team. Travis is on Saddleman.
Yep.
Okay. And then, like, is there a factory Harley effort in hooligans or no?
Nope.
Okay.
No, KWR and Saddleman.
Right on. Yeah, Saddleman. I mean, look, there's a guy in that class that's got a giant number 1 plate. Your brother's teammate, right?
Yep. And Jake Lewis. I mean, Jake Lewis looks fast on the bike
big
too.
corn-fed dude, like just all mullet, everything.
Yeah, I saw they put Corey's bike up at the Harley Davidson Museum.
They did. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking forward to Laguna because you go really well there, and you know, I know that was the inception race for the class, so definitely looking forward to it.
So Biojet from Steve Main is asking if we already discussed the bagger drama in Wisconsin.
You should have tuned in earlier, dude.
What drama, buddy? What are you talking about?
You should have tuned in. Well,
Kyle's not involved in drama.
Yeah.
Steve Main.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's got a big smile on his face. He doesn't involve himself in drama.
He doesn't do drama.
He just
drama-free zone
motorbike races. He just tries to win motorbike races on whatever motorbike he's riding. Currently, it's a Harley thing.
That's right. Well, yeah, we're coming up on an hour, so
yeah, dude,
really appreciate it, Kyle.
Yeah,
Thanks
man,
for jumping on. I know it was a awesome weekend for you. Really stoked. I dig the merch. I like the ride free. I dig that.
You know what? Here's something I noticed at Road America. There was a dude set up outside, the vendor row area, and he was underneath 2 gigantic KWR easy ups, and he was like selling Kyle Wyman merch in there, along with some other stuff. I can't remember the name of the brand, but
was it Chip Spalding?
You want to talk a little bit? No, it wasn't Chip. But you want to talk about that merch program that you got going on there?
Yeah.
And how much of how much of the KWR Harley guys stuff did you guys offload at Road America last weekend?
All of it. Yeah.
Really?
I took the rest home with me, and it's like 2 boxes. I mean, we brought a ton of stuff. Ride free is Willie G's slogan. So Willie G Davidson of the Davidson family. And we did a little change up on the logo with the 33 instead of the E's, and kind of did a little bit of a collab together.
Nice.
And it's just, I love the slogan that he's had it for 40 plus years, and got it on my helmet and stuff. And yeah, so the Davidson family was gracious enough to let me kind of go nuts with their branding, and we've had a lot of a really good reception with it online, and then at the track I've got to do a huge reorder. So
wow, that's awesome.
My boy that was
plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll get it done, but we're gonna have another merch tent out at Laguna. So
awesome. On what used to be Ducati Island, now it's Harley Island. Is that right?
I guess. Yeah. Taking over.
Dude, there was Harley Island at Road Atlanta, dude. Remember when we went up to the concession stand? It was nothing but Harleys. And I told you, dude, I was like, look, man, that they are in force and they are taking over. So,
well, the thing is, what's great about what's happening here, and I had talked about it on this other podcast that I was on, the Be Forever Cool. And, the great thing about the baggers thing is it's bringing new faces to the track to take a look at what's going on out there, but it's exposing them to the whole thing. So they're getting to see what they came to watch, which is Kyle and those guys, right? But they're also getting exposed to Superbike and Super Sport and the different noises those things make, and the Talent Cup and Stock 1000, like whatever it is, the weekend that they show up, they're getting exposed to all this other stuff, and it's kind of making fans overall out of them, not just fans of the bagger thing, right? Or am I crazy to think that?
No, I will say, and personally, like Sunday, and you Dustin, you saw how many people were there. I
mean, like 100,000 people there. There's more than 100,000 people there, probably, right?
But, so during the Superbike race, because I race right after the Superbike race, I go out on the bicycle, and I have a little loop I do at Road America to warm up, and Superbike race is going on, and nobody is in the roads or at the merch tents. They're all at the fence. Right. So like, that's pretty cool, because more than half of them are here for the baggers. It's just how it is. Right. But like, they're all on the fence watching Superbike.
Right.
And that's a testament to what you're saying. Like, people are, the Harley brought them here. They came to the race because they have a road glide, and they left knowing who Josh Herron and Cameron Bobier are. So,
and Bobby Fogg.
And Bobby Fong and Jake Gagne.
Come on, dude. Like, not that I'm biased or anything.
Yes. You have to be.
Well, you know what, Kyle? Let's we got a giveaway of a Live Plus subscription. So I'm kind of going through, looking at the comments, seeing who's active, because we just give it away to somebody random. But I see this guy, Andrew Hughes. He's pretty switched on throughout the entire episode. But then that Track Day Junkie guy too. Like, what do you think, Kyle?
Is Track Day Junkies anything to do with the Track Day Junkies?
No.
Then I can't shy away from it then.
That's a whole nother drama.
I can't decide the fate. I tell you what, I also have some codes. Let's do one for each.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay. You got some codes. I got some codes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. Let's do Andrew Hughes and that Track Day Junkie guy. Let's give them the subscriptions. Is that cool?
I have Track Day Junkies contact information. So
okay. And Andrew Hughes, dude, email me or whatever. Find me on social media. I'll give you a code. Fair enough. Oh, he said give it to someone else because he already has one.
All right. We're definitely not giving it to that John Righty guy.
Well, John Righty's busy hustling.
Yeah, he was talking about how he single-handedly tuned Teague Hobbs's R9 to go faster. So
he single-handedly did that.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, I don't know what Bryce. I don't know what Bryce would have to say about that. Wow.
Yep.
Oh, somebody says there's Mad Performance Cycle says they're still waiting for his KWR shirts. Kyle.
Oh yeah. So we got
for a factory team shirt.
Yeah. So we do have a couple shout outs that we kind of glossed over. One of them, a previous Weekend Hangover guest, Julian Correa, got a podium in Talent Cup, and our boy Benny Smith got a solid P4 in race 2, which was awesome because he was behind the Hondas and then somehow magically got ahead of all three Hondas, and he was probably about a mile from third place because Richie ran out of gas and was chugging up the hill, and you could see him.
Dude, that guy, Benny's had like the most colorful season so far. You know, like blowing engines left and right, and then
I've got a bit of a soft spot for him because
their trailer broke down on the way there. Like we thought that he wasn't gonna make it, and then they had some weird stuff with I don't know exactly what happened, but I guess there was something in the oil pan that caused something. They couldn't make race 1. So the dude is just to go out and have the weekend he was having.
Yeah. It's still not he when the bike is on, he gets it done.
Yeah.
Tell us about your soft spot, Kyle.
Yeah, soft spot for Ben.
I mean, it just reminds me of 2016, 2017, like myself on a privateer Yamaha, just quietly knocking out 6th place finishes and trying to just get one result, and that P4
and then Jersey,
was cool.
And then Jersey.
That Ben Smith's Jersey moment is coming soon.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Ben's team does have these great individuals out of Huntington Beach working on their engines now. So
yeah, that's good.
I never had that.
Their bikes are a little steamier than before.
Good.
So that's kind of nice.
Good.
Yeah, Joseph and those guys are doing great work with and the things are a little bit. Honestly, the bikes were quite a bit steamier than they've been.
Did Mr. Duplantis come by and talk to Richard?
I don't know.
Oh man, I told him go over there.
The Millennium guy.
Yeah.
No, he gave me a card to give him. I gave him a card.
Weak sauce. I'm going to talk to his.
But Richard knew those guys already. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've used this, but guys for it, blah blah, whatever. Leave me the card." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So,
Jason missed an opportunity.
Everybody wants to talk to Richard. The podcast thing is kind of unfortunately made the big, scary, evil sounding guy that's threatening or whatever seem approachable. So everybody wants to talk to Richard now. It's kind of strange.
Well, no, it was more of a business deal, but
oh, I know. Yeah. I think Richard's gonna call them though. He said they were gonna do something, but
good. Good. Because Jason I told him to go over there and just be Ricky Bobby for once and just go chat him up. And when Jason gets all chatty and he's in his, coon ass accent and he's, hey man, come on, man, come on, let's go.
Oh, you're talking about getting chatty. Like we tried to end this thing 10 minutes ago.
I know.
Okay. So, again, Andrew Hughes and Track Day Junkie, right?
Yep.
And Andrew, I'm gonna give you the code. Just reach out to me, and you could give it to whoever you need to. That's cool. And then, he says we're so choppy. Might be his Starlink. I just got that message. Nice, Kyle.
Just got that. That was like an hour ago.
I was like, I just noticed it. I was like, I have a chat. What? Okay, so I've got something. Greg Arnold from Mechanic Moto.
Oh yeah.
Here, I'm gonna just show his website here. If you enter the code TrackDays10, or no, sorry, TrackDays20. TrackDays20. You're gonna get 20% off all the items that he has in stock with the tire warmers, the suit dryers, and the new antibacterial / odor killer integrated helmet dryers, boot glove dryer, all in one unit. And he's got a stock of the same warmers that the Attack Team and World Superbike and MotoGP uses. So TrackDays20, using
check
that
them out.
URL, check them out. And it's all set up and you get free shipping. So
that's solid in these high cost shipping times.
Yeah. So. Bobby, when's the next time you get to ride, dude?
I gotta
If you say September, I'm gonna punch you in the balls next time I see you.
Well, RBG Motorsports World Headquarters is getting put together Monday the 16th. The metal building company's coming and setting up my shop.
Okay.
And then other than that, just if I can get some time with Mike Godin and get my bike together.
Dude, Godin's got a mean air guitar, so just a heads
up. I know. You got to show me that video.
Oh, you will. You'll see it on my vlog. Thanks.
Yeah. I just need some time at KWS to get my bike together, and we'll see. That's still TBD. So,
well, I'm riding at the circuit at Buttonwillow this weekend. We had a track days event both days. It's gonna be a good time out there, and got some people filling up. Looks like we still have a little bit of room in all the groups, but they're getting close.
Come on, people!
Get signed up. You want to come try the new racetrack? It's a lot of fun, especially since that stupid wall in turn 1 is gone.
Yeah, the one that you had a part in.
Yes, I helped. What do they call that? What are the skid steer? No, it's not that. It's excavator. That's what it is. Yeah, I got to drive the.
Kyle's going to learn about that in a couple of years about the Blippy excavator song. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Well, Kyle, dude, thanks for joining us and talking to us about motorbikes.
And all the awesomeness that was at Road America. So thank you again for joining us, man. Really appreciate it.
That big smiling face. Everybody, dude, follow this guy.
Yeah.
Get out there, tag him and stuff. Go shake his hand, bug him at the races. So, keeps it nice and competitive.
Yeah. Get a whole group of Weekend Hangover fans over at Laguna.
Have him sign stuff.
Yeah.
Buy some stuff from his merch tent and then have him sign it.
Yep. There you go.
That's the best idea, right, Kyle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Do you dude, if you have a link to your stuff, you want to say where can they buy the Kyle 30 ride free stuff?
KyleWyman.com.
Bam.
KyleWyman.com. Okay.
Easy enough.
It's that simple.
Dude, that ride free shirt's pretty badass. I think I might have to go buy one. I'm gonna wear that on a
no Harley logos on
hangover. Well, there you go. That's why I can wear it.
I just get my free handout shirts.
Yep. Vintage.
Yeah, I'm sure I could get that too if I asked. But right on. Well,
cool.
You know
Thanks,
what?
Guys.
It's been a great show. Hope you guys dug what you saw here, and please comment after the show's
Smash buttons, smash buttons, smash buttons.
Yeah, mash all the buttons, subscribe, and all that stuff. People seem to be doing that now, so thank you. Thank you for watching this stuff. Yep. And as long as you guys keep watching this stuff, we'll keep doing it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.